and she cooked me 5 loaves of bread.
Yeah.
Right. So when they came over here, we had gold and coal was the big things at the time. That was what Big Mama kept in her bank for bartering trade. The gold and the coal, all Big Mamas, the wealth of the community was stored in golds and coal. The coal had big piles of coal in certain parts of the land because they used that to heat the homes and shit. Anyway, the gold was used to mint coins between clans, and we do trade with gold coins. They tell y'all that we didn't have no currency, but they sent their outlaws to shut down all Big Mama banks in order to establish the central bank. So what the fuck did we have banks for?
Right.
I mean, shit. So now all of the banks get a federal contract with the government under FDIC rules to establish a central bank to protect their interests because these outlaws keep robbing Big Mama house.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's the bottom line. And it don't have no other choice but to be shut down. And that's what people not understanding is that, like, that's why they pulling out now. That's why they say we're not touching the dollar no more, y'all. We can't. It's time to pull out. It's time to pull out.
If you look at the BRICS nations, they building a currency dam. They forcing the American dollar back so it can drown itself out.
Yep. Nation by nation.
It's strategic. That's why they keep telling you how every couple of days a new nation join the BRICS nations.
Yeah.
Because
a few weeks ago, it was 20.
In the gold cycles, what we call these prosperity cycle, everybody has to have an opportunity to be wealthy at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is wealth is relative to who's at the bottom and who's at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So everybody now got a drop of the royal blood, everybody royal family. People don't like to hear that shit. They want to be superior because of their melanin or because of their lack of melanin.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be superior, follow the way of the superior man. Right. Follow the way of the superior woman. Understand from your God self that there's nothing in creation that doesn't belong here. And everything, some things are only here for a season, but everything is here for a reason.
Right.
These are cycles that will change, and they do change. We adjusted and adapted over eons of doing this shit. So we did something. We went into an amnesia. Now we waking up.
Right.
Then when we wake up and realize that we can drive to what we call a prosperity cycle, and we can lay out a better way for the next 7 generations. And then we know that if we teach our children a better way, when it comes time for them to reset the next cycle in 7 generations, they'll be able to make it even better than it is between us and them.
Mm-hmm.
This is the goal. We got to be, remember, a midget on a giant's shoulder can see farther than the giant. And we all on the shoulder of giants, so we should be able to see pretty far if we just pay attention. But that price is too steep for a lot of people. They're not willing to pay that price of attention in order to liberate themselves from a mental prison.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hologram got to shut down.
Yeah. All of us got to shut down. We don't understand that part. And a lot of us, like I have people send me things all the time about, man, you know, it's shutting down, man. We're not going to be able to go to the store. We're not going to be able to do this. They bringing body bags. They do it. And I'm like, that's not our timeline, though. You see what I mean? That's not for us. We have endured everything that they could possibly do. They can't do anything worse. Right now, it's payback time. This is a celebration. This is our time to get everything back. And then some.
This is called the Great Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
right? If I can get enough people to spread enough information across the land to hit critical mass, all of the stuff I be saying becomes active,
Right.
right? I just be reminding us of our cultural ways because that's how you remind people of who they are,
Mm-hmm.
right? Why we like fried chicken? They make fun of us for it. It was a cultural phenomenon, right? We didn't use chickens, we had a different bird, but the concept is the same,
Yep.
right? We
Yep.
we didn't have bags of potato chips. We didn't have bags of popcorn and Twizzlers. So Big Mama would keep bowls of fried yard bird on the counter for gas. She'd fry 2, 3 times a day because the children that would come visit needed snacks. So she'd give them a square cornbread or she'd give them a piece of chicken.
Yeah.
But don't touch the breast because that's for Big Papa.
Right.
We all knew. Now we don't remember the culture. So when they make fun of the watermelon, which was our flush, it was our summertime hydrant. How we rehydrate in the summer was watermelon. So they make fun of us because we was wise enough to know that when it's 107 degrees in the goddamn shade, get them babies some watermelon so they don't die from a heat stroke.
Right.
We knew that, but now we made fun of it. They make
Of course.
fun of us for eating a watermelon. That's so they can deter us from the benefits.
Right.
But the cultures say, fuck what they talking about. I'm getting me some watermelon.
Right.
That's the culture speaking through us that make us not give a damn about the stereotype attached to give us a stigma. My people been eating watermelon longer than these motherfuckers been here.
Right.
We invented that shit.
Right. Exactly. We grew it. That gave us our superpower right there.
Look, we invented watermelon. We invented motherfucking strawberries. We invented motherfucking wheat. All of this shit, we were botanists that cultivated. We were cultivators of the land, and we needed to plant shit we could eat.
Yep.
Right? We didn't. What fucking good do it make to plant a weed that you can't eat?
Right.
Right? And then the ones that became poisonous, them not for food, no way. That's for medicine.
Mm-hmm.
It's not supposed to be orally consumed, but we knew that. Now we don't know shit. My father said we don't know shit from Shanola.
Yeah. Flat out. I got one more question.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I heard your live when you was telling everybody, yeah, you was going in on the Young Elders channel. You was like, stay the fuck home. It's over. Babylon is over. It's over. Y'all going in there buying tissue paper and shit. It's over. Right. And I'm listening to you and I'm like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. But you said something. You said, stay home. Stay home. Let them clean all this shit up in the streets. Stay home. Now, I have a question because people been talking about, right, the bunkers going underground,
Yeah.
right? People saying we all need to go out into the streets versus staying home because the way that our homes are set up, they're not set up for long-term
Okay.
stays such as.
Let me tell you what I was talking about. Because while that was going on, I was also reporting on the raiding of bunkers, showing people the earthquake chart of what I was talking about when they was raiding bunkers. They raided one under the White House, and a couple of soldiers died in that shit. They raided them under the Vatican and under Buckingham Palace too. I reported on all that shit when it was going down was for. They was chasing some beings called archons. They reptilians, right? And it was one who was the hive queen that lived under the Vatican. Inanna severed her head. She came back on the jumper because she said, "What? Nobody killing that bitch but her."
Indeed.
So I was fucking mad because I wanted to kill the bitch myself. But I was reporting on all that stuff back then when it was happening.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Right, in
It's
real.
still sounding relevant now because we going through the same damn cycle where they trying to lock it down again, but we're not falling for it.
This
It's
called the
state.
flip. Everything we seen going in to the redemption, we seen going out. My videos that didn't get a lot of circulation in the beginning get more circulation at the end. the shift in the algorithm tells me the shift in the culture. Right. So as I watch the algorithm shift, and the people remembering and they seeing and recognizing somebody telling them something that their ancestors or their elders told them had nothing to do with us. And now they calling them on it. And the ones who was for the bullshit is fumbling the ball. Right. They fumbling the ball. They can't, that's over with. They done. And so now these youngsters is catching on to how to use their telekinesis, moving shit with their mind and shit. Because the veil is lifting and it's coming to a grand finale. Right? So now, even though it sounds relevant for the day, it's just that it's on the turnaround of a cycle. So it's going to be saying the same thing in a different tone. That's how we read our ancestors' messages in stone around the world. It tells us how to regroup. That's what the Bang Dong Conference was, us regrouping. That's what the UNIA was, to get us to regroup on the land before we go over there to the Bang Dong Conference. We can at least be prepared to have some kind of network set up that when it comes time to reclaim the land, we can oust the enemy around the world simultaneously. Right? So all of us join forces. And we get mad at other people for being on the land. A lot of these people we called over here to offer an aid and assistance in purging ourselves of the enemy. Absolutely. A lot of these Asians is coming over here to render assistance. Filipinos, they all fighting the same enemy. That you don't know important, they would have all that shit monopolized. That's why all of the Koreans got hair shops.
Yeah. Oh my God.
All of that, and the Africans come over here and braid hair.
Yeah. And the wigs be made out of plastic. It's long plastic strings. I'm like, ain't this about it?
Yeah. But look, we invented wigs. Our women invented adornments, right? And passed that shit around the world. The women always had weave. We trying to act like she's not conscious because she got weave. No,
I already know. I had an afro on my shit. My hair was already too much. I understood. I was like, once I grew my hair out, I understood like the hairstyles and stuff, other than it being cultural. But our hair is alive.
If you study the history of the wig, all of the Egyptian pharaohs, the males and the females, shaved their heads and wore wigs. Right? When you study the history of the cornrow braid, right? All of that was used to be done in order to use the hair to put stuff in it. Right? Now, they got this fairy tale they tell us about how we used to store our food in the girl's hair and braid it up. That's half truth.
Yeah, it always is.
That's a half truth. When we migrated to foreign lands, those weren't food. Them was the seeds we was going to plant when we got to our destination.
That makes sense. That does.
Right? But they want us to think that they have enough food braided up in this girl hair to feed 10 people. And you got to be out your
Yeah,
mother
you gotta
rabbit
have
ass man. It's only enough room to put the seeds to grow the crops where you gonna be at.
Yeah, and that makes sense. That makes sense because they were talking about how like wheat and certain things from over here were that were found in Africa were actually from over here.
Yeah. Well, the corn, right? Corn is found all over the world now. Corn was created by Quetzalcoatl.
Tahui, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He because it was originally a type of wheatgrass, and he just used the science of botany to make it produce bigger fruit.
Yeah, that makes sense because I remember when I seen a wheatgrass, I'm like, it looks like grass growing out of rice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the from the wheatgrasses, we end up making all kinds of. Guess what? What's not ours? We
What?
fucks this shit up on a regular basis. Collard greens, turnips, and mustards.
Mm.
Now, ask me who they belong to, where they come from.
Where
This
they
gonna
come from, Rob?
this is gonna bake your noodle. That's Irish shit.
Oh, okay.
That's Irish shit. That was their contribution to what's now soul food.
Yeah.
They didn't have the same cooking style that our mothers and grandmothers use. And when they brought because we over here, we ate dandelion.
Mm.
And
Mm.
it's
I heard
a,
the salmon stuff too. It is healthy for you, and
right.
like the peas and stuff.
So the collard greens was not originally brought for human consumption. It was brought to feed livestock.
Mm.
But when we learn how to cook it like we cook our greens, slow, break it down, the fibers of it, and if it don't stink on the third day of sitting up, you didn't cook it right. So they cooked the green down, and because it was never meant for a food stock.
Mm.
But Big Mama loved us so much, she got to figure out how to get the nutrition that this cow would get out of this leaf and get it into my babies.
Mm.
And she created some shit called pot liquor. And she mixed the pot liquor with the cornbread.
Mm.
And made what's known as baby food mush.
I wish my grandma was here to.
Look, in the women, we had no baby bottles. That's some new shit.
Yeah.
They smashed the food up like this into little ball pieces and put it in the baby mouth. That's how you fed a baby. If they was old enough to eat food, they was being fed by fingers.
Okay.
Right? Women used to go from breastfeeding to mashing food up. Right? They gave us some shit called Similac.
Oh yeah.
Infernil.
And they got
right?
worms.
But before that, Big Mama would simmer down some stuff called pet milk. Mix it with some Karo syrup. And your baby gonna be fat like you on steroids.
That's how I was. My mom said I was like a big baby. Well, like it kind of explains because I was connecting like the dots with like the Star family and how Avatar connects with us over here, and the Lemurians I think are like the Star family of the Blackfoot Indians, like Mount Shasta. I think that's one of the tribes too. But like the Lemurians were tall. Like I'm 6'3". I want to let y'all know that. Like when I seen Avatar and stuff, it instantly like connected already. Like.
So did you see the second one, The Water World?
Of course, I watched that shit down there religiously.
Did you notice? Did you notice my man was kept calling old boy Cuz?
Which one? Which character?
He was the son of
yeah.
the.
He was
kept
talking
calling the other chief's son. He kept calling him Cuz.
Yeah, the one that he was always fighting.
Right.
Yeah, that caught me because it's like, cuz, and y'all are blue, and so I'm like, is this the the cripple.
Yeah.
Is it?
Remember, the Crips is the crabs that come in off the sea, right? The king crab red is a Crip. The cream, is a blood, but the king crab blue is a Crip, right? So because of the actions of Big Tookie, it forced the red crabs to assemble.
That makes sense,
right? It's a master knock. He becomes a two-headed chief. Okay. His actions caused the creation of the formation or reformation of a long forgotten tribe, and his tribe at the same time have to wake up together.